Madam President, it might be hard to believe it's actually December. In normal times, a lot of families in Michigan would be focused on getting ready for the holidays. And while Michigan children might still be counting down the days until Santa arrives, their parents have a lot bigger issues weighing on their minds. A Michigan dad has been out of work for months. He's wondering how long his family can keep scraping by in the new year after his unemployment runs out. A Michigan single mom whose hours have been cut and has been unable to pay the rent for months is wondering just how long it will be until her family is out on the street. The owner of a Michigan small business is wondering if he'll see enough of a holiday boost to keep the doors open and his 3 employees on the payroll. A Michigan retiree who's struggling to buy enough groceries is wondering if it's safe to wait in a long line at her local food bank, or if that's where she'll get sick. And Michigan families who've seen almost 9,300 of their grandparents and neighbors and uncles and cousins and friends and community leaders get sick and die from this horrible virus are wondering who's going to be next. The truth is, we're not just facing a health crisis right now, we're facing an economic crisis, we're facing a housing crisis, and we're facing a hunger crisis, all at the same time. Coronavirus cases, hospitalizations, and deaths keep rising, and we haven't even seen the effects of Thanksgiving gatherings yet. We're seeing unemployment claims tick up, and that's expected to get worse after seasonal jobs cut in January. Some studies have estimated that about 40 million renters in the United States are at risk of losing their homes. Already 10,000 eviction actions have been filed in a number of states. That's 10,000 families who need to find a new place to live right now in the winter, in the middle of a health pandemic. And we've all seen the massive lines of cars at food banks across the country. In a normal year, the food bank of Eastern Michigan helps about 14% of the population in 22 counties get enough food to eat. This year, they're helping 40% put food on the table. Before COVID-19, the South Michigan Food Bank provided food to about 80 families a week. Now they're helping more than 500 families a week. This is an emergency. These families, businesses, community organizations, seniors can't just wait around hoping for a Christmas miracle. They need help now, and it's our responsibility to do it now. That's why I'm so pleased that lawmakers from both sides of the aisle have been working to come together on additional help. There's still a lot of details to work out, but I am hopeful, being part of that process on the workings, on the details, that we're going to be able to come together on an agreement that will help families and businesses and communities through these tough times. Whatever agreement we reach won't be perfect, we know that. It won't be everything everybody wants, but we can't wait because time is quickly running out. On December 26th, only 23 days from now, vital unemployment programs will expire, cutting off benefits that millions of workers need to provide for their families. If you're self-employed, if you're a contract worker, if you're a gig worker, suddenly you will have zero help. Zero. 5 days after that, on December 31, the Federal Reserve's emergency lending program ends. That will cut off crucial credit that's keeping businesses open and helping state and local governments provide necessary services. Also on December 31, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's eviction moratorium expires. And the federal foreclosure moratorium and some opportunities for forbearance expire. Imagine what it would be like to begin a new year with no roof over your head or your families, no place for your children to sleep, and no place to stay clean in the middle of a raging pandemic. And on January 1, millions of student loan borrowers will have to resume their payments, whether they can afford them or not. These programs have been literally a lifeline for families, for communities, for businesses during the pandemic. And while vaccines are on the horizon, and we are so happy to hear the progress, this pandemic is far from over. Cutting off this vital help now would be like an ambulance driver stopping 2 miles short of the hospital and making the accident victim get out and walk the rest of the way to the emergency room. We need to face this health crisis, this economic crisis, this housing crisis, this hunger crisis with seriousness and boldness. People in Michigan and across the country are crying out for help. It's time for this body to listen. It's time for Congress to lead. We should not go home until we have passed at least a short-term survival package to help Americans through the next few months. That's our job. That is our job, and we should not go home until that job is done. We are the United States of America. The United States of America. Nothing is holding us back from helping our citizens other than just people's unwillingness to do it. Nothing. We're the United States of America. There is no reason we are not coming together, and shame on the Congress and the White House if we don't act now to help our citizens. There's nothing holding us back but the political will to do it. And it needs to get done. And there are many of us now on both sides of the aisle working to do that, and we need to make sure that people lean in together and get this done.